Hello, everyone. Welcome to the last New York edition, the last East Coast episode of Odd Shaped Panel. I am your co-host, Tom Bennis.
I'm Kimber Barrett.
And welcome. So we have a bunch of callers tonight, so we're going to get into the thick of it. Real quick, we just want to thank Jonathan for becoming a $1 patron. We appreciate it so much, and all of our other patron supporters. Real quick, shout out to everyone in the room. We got Nolan, Cal, Eric Ossemacher, Jonathan Peck, Halo, Dell, Yusef, Joe and Ashley, Eric Monroe, and I think I got everybody. Welcome, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Our first caller.
Actually, I wanted to say, you guys know where we are with the line so far. When patrons come in that are $5 patrons, they do get the skip the line feature as one of their prizes for being a $5 patron. So bear with us as we get those people in as they show up. And other than that, we will be taking callers from the order that they show up in the room. So.
And excuse me, to narrow down on what we're discussing tonight, we have 4 great questions, 3 of them suggested online by Nolan, Yusuf, and Ashley. So thanks again for that. We wouldn't have a show without your suggestions. And we're talking about New York. New York as a state, New York as a city. I've been here pretty much all my life. You've been here for about 3
I've been here for almost exactly 3 years, and this will be our last show before we actually make the move. So we're going to be taking about a 1-month break in between now and our next episode, and hopefully we'll be able to work things out schedule-wise and possibly do another team-up episode with our BFFs, Ashley and Joe, because we will be staying at their place for a few days before we head out to Austin. So hopefully we'll be doing a Texas episode maybe with them to celebrate our move across country. So we'll hope, fingers crossed, that works out, because obviously they have jobs and stuff we got to work around. So
their cats might not even like us, so we might get the boot right away. Nolan, we went ahead and sent you an invite. Keep a lookout for that.
Joe in the chat.
Joe's just like, yo. We got 11 viewers. Thank you so much for coming by. If you're new to the channel, please check out some of our other great content. We got some podcasts, some Let's Plays, some episode recaps. If you like it, subscribe. You don't have to subscribe just from this. We've just met. But if you like it, stick around. Darn jobs. Still trying to get that. If anyone's following us on Twitter, you may have seen, hey Rock, how's it going? You may have seen, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, my job search, some of the outcomes I have found.
I didn't even see that, to be honest.
Yes, you did. That was my schedule's finally working out, looking for ass, ...
Oh,
it was looking for assistants, but it cut it off right at ass. So either they planned that, which Kimber thinks is what's going on. No.
Yeah, shout out to work on the show. If you call in before you leave the call, you get to do a shout out at the end. Tell everybody where to find you. So we're just waiting on Nolan's call to come through. So Nolan, if you don't get that invite, let us know and we can try to send it again.
I have faith in you. I don't know what's going on in the chat. Everyone's panicking. Yeah, it's fine. No, we appreciate you being here, Rock All Out. Just waiting on Nolan. Where do we know Nolan from? He's just this guy we talk to once in a while.
Twitter. That's where we know him from. Why don't you just talk about New York a little bit?
New York?
Why don't you tell them about the area we're in? Because
okay,
we're not...
so we live about 15 minutes from the Woodstock site, which took place in Bethel, New York, or White Lake, depending on who you believe. The site of the 1969 Woodstock. A lot of people think that What I'm talking about is the Woodstock, New York, the town. But what happened was in 1969, they couldn't make it all the way to Woodstock because of the rain. So they settled at Yasgur's farm. And I mean, if you haven't seen or heard Woodstock performance, you should look it up.
Yeah, not being from here, I'm from Florida, obviously, and I'd love to do a Florida episode sometime too, because there's tons of great TV and movies that take place there. But it's what really reminds me of the way this area looks when I see it is the intro for The Office, the footage of Scranton, because that's probably a little closer to us than the city is, right?
It's about the same. It's probably like maybe 15 minutes closer.
But the buildings and stuff that you see in the intro of The Office is very similar to what the area around here looks like.
Well, actually, David Cross did a movie called Hits, or is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
And it was on Netflix. I don't know if it's still on there, but it takes place in this town in Liberty.
And literally, you can see like landmarks that you see every day.
Like I might want to jump into. Well, okay. We didn't pick this question because there's a lot of similar questions. We picked what's wrong with, but what nails like this area is the whole like thing revolves around potholes, which are like our nemesis up here. You have no idea how many times I like hit a pothole and we're just like, Austin better have paved roads. No, I'm gonna send you another invite, or what I can do is post the link in the chat, but we'll do the invite first. Let's see, what else about this area?
I famously dislike New York City, so I'm sure we'll talk about that. It stresses me out so much, man. Like, I hate the process of getting to New York City. It's a nightmare. And then getting around New York City. Like, I do not...
They don't like that.
I don't see the charm that a lot of people see in that city. To me, it's like a stinky stress machine.
You have to go at the right time. Like, definitely, like, there's aspects of New York that work, like Rockefeller Center in the holidays. Like, if you like Christmas, if that's your thing, there's no reason not to check out a giant Christmas tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But is it worth all the crap? That's my question.
I think if we were a little bit closer, I think if you live in the city, it might be a different experience. But to get there, especially if you're on a schedule, because if you're like 15 minutes behind on anything, your whole day is disrupted if you miss a subway. And
I saw Eric ask me when I'm packing up the belt. This wall is actually coming down immediately after we wrap the show tonight.
We'll take pictures of the bare wall afterwards and post them. I was gonna.
Did you post the link for Nolan? It's not working for him. We gotta get him in.
I don't know what you're messing with, Kat, but what can I ask you while we're talking? What did you expect the city to be like from like pop culture before you actually saw it?
Oh, like pop culture makes it seem like it's magical and like you know how it's portrayed and
yeah, but
I'll get into that more when I talk about stuff specifically. But it just if you have any sort of like anxiety, that place is just like a trigger machine. But I'm not like terribly a huge fan of big cities in general. Like Miami is the same stressful to me, but very different, those two cities.
So I don't know if I've mentioned this on the show before and Eric just has a really good memory or Eric just knows this, but the Son of Sam is locked up in our county. We have like at least 3 jails in our county, so we have like a lot of weird statistics for a county. Like we're the most violent county just because we have prisons and those people are still like brought into the census and stuff like that. Anyway,
and also people are violent.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It's So what I was going with that was my brother actually works at that prison now. So fun fact. Mavis is trying to knock down this awesome little present we got for from Delicia when she came to visit us. I don't know what to do, Nolan. Why don't we try to get somebody else in here, and then we'll send you another link. Sorry, man. So what we'll do is we'll call Joe and Ashley. Are you ready? Yeah, but we drove by. I don't think that was in Sullivan County. Upstate New York just has a lot of prisons.
Like Orange is the New Black.
Yeah. No, it's in Orange County, which is the next county over.
Call Joe.
I will call my friend Joe.
Yeah, sorry, Eric. That would be nice, but really, it's based on patrons now. We have too many of them to squeeze people ahead for any particular, theme of a show.
You have Jonathan Peck's email saved in there now. I don't know how Google Hangouts works.
It only saves the people who it has called a bunch of times or it never works for.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, Joe worked.
Hey, buddy.
Hi.
How's it going?
Nice.
She's agitated.
Where's my friend? Oh, there she is.
Hi.
Sorry about the delay.
Oh, no problem.
Let me close this window. That's
It's
a little
so hot in
intense.
here.
I get that, but it's so loud.
I'm fine with
Good
noise.
thing we're not moving someplace hot.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, but it has AC.
Yes, everywhere does.
Everywhere has AC in Texas.
There are ACs built into the doors of grocery stores, so you have that refreshing change of air pressure.
I've told him this because Florida's quite similar in that regard, but here that's not the case. It blew my mind. I did not know what that was like just not having AC anywhere.
Yep.
That reminds me of a commercial I saw for, I think, Toyota years ago, where it was like a premise of two couples are comparing a car that they got, and yeah, it came with AC installed. It's like, yeah, that was standard where we live.
Has to be.
It's like, wait, you have air conditioning doesn't come standard on cars? What's wrong with people?
Nice.
All right, so before we get started with these questions, just want to welcome Night Shame and Halo back to the channel. And question 1 comes from Why I Love Movies, our good friend Yusuf Kanessa. Sorry.
It's cool.
Yes.
Tom messes up names.
You should. Cal, I finally. Hi,
Now
Janine. How's it going?
Now I mess up Cal's name.
All right. So he asked us, what movie based in New York would make you want to move there?
Go first.
Or show.
Or show.
Kimmy Schmidt. Because it has that almost fantasy element of it, even though it's crazy and dumb and terrible, and I really don't want to live in the New York Kimmy Schmidt lives in. It does make it seem like it's actually a viable option.
You don't want to hang out with the Banana Boys?
Well, just so you know, my answer was also Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, and it's exactly what you said. Like it takes what's unique about New York, like Pizza Rat, and like brings it up to like a folk tale kind of like. Even the guy from the Jinx is kind of like a folk legend in the world of Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. And I'm still waiting for another season. I don't know if it's coming or not.
I feel like Titus himself is too like a bit legendary. Like I have I don't want to put anyone out, but my uncle's boyfriend was telling us how he met him and he was like flirting with him and stuff, and just everything about that, even pouring over, I guess, into the real world kind of adds like a fantasy element to New York and all the characters on the show.
Yep. But yeah, that's mine.
I would probably choose 30 Rock because I wouldn't want to work for Liz Lemon. I feel like if I didn't, have certain things going in my life, that I would probably be Liz Lemon. So might as well be where all the action is.
Nice.
And I love that show, and it's fun.
I'm not convinced it's not the same world.
Well, I mean, it's a farce, but it's definitely a little more grounded than what happens in Kimmy Schmidt, but it's still insane.
pretty insane.
But not so insane where I would like fear for my life. Like if I lived in the Ninja Turtles version of New York, where Shredder and the Foot Clan could come after me on the subway and I'll get kidnapped.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same vein with all of you guys, because my choice is also kind of like a strange and accentuated version of New York. But mine would probably be How I Met Your Mother. While that show does have problems due to aging and some choices that were not the best with some PC, issues on the rewatch, it does have a lot of great moments, and it really does make it seem exciting to live in New York City and the love that these people have who have come from all over the country. Ted is from Ohio and Marshall's from Minnesota. And so you get these people who are blended from all different parts of the country coming together and becoming this amazing team in New York. And I think that's really kind of like the dream of New York City, that you're going to go there and meet all these amazing people from different backgrounds and have this super fun life and do all this stuff. And now living above a bar in New York for the last couple of years, it's not as much fun as they necessarily have, but it is interesting that just the way that show is makes it seem so fun to live a life like that, especially with them being almost exactly in our age range and stuff. So that's my choice.
I feel that show is written for people who think a life like that would be potentially fun, but without all the glamour of what actually happens. I say glamour, but
well, that's like a theme in a lot of early or like mid-American novels, where everybody from the Midwest, like the dream is to go to New York because everything will be better in New York. And then when they get there, obviously in a sitcom situation, they're going to make it seem nicer. But usually in those mid-American novels, nothing good comes of moving to New York to chase the American dream. Like if you look at Gatsby's Case, Nick Carraway, all those people. So it's an interesting theme. Everyone from the Midwest dreams of living in New York or LA for some people.
That's funny you say that, because growing up, in New York, the thing that's always stuck with me is go west, young man. So it must be like everybody.
Regional.
It's like if you have straight hair, you want curly hair kind of thing.
Yeah. The grass is always greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick to comment on the chat. Nolan says that How I Met Your Mother is superior to Friends. I agree. We have somebody new in the room, Fappy Cola, apparently a friend of Halo and Cal's, and any friend of Halo and Cal's is a friend of ours, so welcome. And Janine's in the room now, so we can all stop holding our breath because
she's here.
She's finally here.
Yeah, one thing I did want to say is that while most, like a lot of shows like Friends and How I Met Your Mother kind of make it seem like it's really easy to afford all these nice things and this nice place in New York City, I do appreciate shows like Broad City that kind of show you the actual struggle and how terrible it can be to live in New York City. So just shouting out that show.
It's terrible, but it's their terrible.
Yeah.
Like they don't sugarcoat it, but they're like, but we love it nonetheless with its warts and all.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. All right. Well, one of our favorite people, and I'm not just saying that because she's on the call with us right now. Ashley asked us, what movie or TV show gets the most wrong about the city or state?
Is the only TV show was your question?
I mean, it could be I don't care if it's a movie.
I'm gonna say anything from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know what? I'm gonna say the Daredevil stuff, like the Netflix Marvel stuff, because too much is happening in like the 7-square block that is Hell's Kitchen plus the adjoining neighborhoods that all of them live in, for them not to be stumbling all over each other more than for one show.
I like that answer. What about you, Ashley?
That's me.
Yeah, I would have to piggyback off of what Kimber said earlier about the affordability of these massive apartments on shows like Friends, and I think pretty much every New York show does this, because who wants to see a cramped little living space? You're trying to idealize a lot of stuff, but there's no way that anybody on those shows with the types of jobs they have with the cost of living in New York, they would ever be able to afford it without having like 8 other roommates in that situation. The cost of living is just so astronomical out there versus, you know, like what a lot of because usually on sitcoms, not everybody's like a doctor or lawyer. They work at a restaurant or they're a barista or, you know, some other kind of minimum wage job. So that's probably the most unrealistic thing that's, you know, you don't have to live in New York to know that that's not a real situation.
Yeah, I'm fully with Ashley on that. Any of these shows that are making it seem like I am a working artist, and it's a hard struggle. You know, I've been working as an artist since I got out of high school, basically, and without a bunch of roommates and stuff. And usually these people all have their own separate houses unless they're couples and stuff. It would be impossible to do my job unless I got a job at a really good shop and worked constantly to pay bills and nonetheless like go to all these crazy parties and go drinking every night and stuff like these people do. So every show is my pick.
Okay, so in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, there's a part where he's like fighting the Green Goblin. It's like Act 3, and like the Green Goblin's got the edge on him, and all of a sudden he gets hit with like a can or something, and you realize that all of the New Yorkers on the bridge are like, "You mess with Spider-Man, you mess with all of us," and like the movie came out. I think it was post 9/11. I can't remember. And I definitely remember that attitude of okay, we're coming together as you should, you know, and we're going to get over this. And that just doesn't apply to New York all the time. Like if you go down there right now and if there was somebody like there, most people would walk by. Spider-Man
What's that freak in
or
the suit doing?
Rather, yeah. I mean, Kimber was literally yelling that her mother was shitting in the streets. She wasn't, but Kimber was doing a social experiment.
No one paid attention.
No one. So,
I remember seeing that. Yeah, not the thing she said.
Yeah.
I remember seeing what in the theater because that was right after 9/11. I think they had to do some reshoots because time sensitivity and you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. It's like you can tell they added this in. It's like a good sentiment at the time, and I remember like the feeling all over the country at the time was like we got to stick together. But like 2 or 3 years later, it's like what? Who remembers that? And that unity and whatnot. But that definitely would not happen today. Or probably even back then, but still.
Yeah. Question 3?
Oh, Jonathan makes a good point. He goes, at the time after 9/11, especially if you're going to have a movie about New York, I completely agree with you. It was necessary to kind of have that in there. It may have not felt like the rest of the movie. Like he definitely lands on a giant American flag at the end. I don't know if that was the original end of Spider-Man, but I think it did do good for just American viewers.
Morale boost, definitely.
I mean,
exactly.
I remember the original trailer got pulled within a few days of it coming out because I think the first trailer came out
Trade Center.
weeks before 9/11 happened, and he had a web between the Twin Towers catching a helicopter, and it was like, oh, we don't see that one anymore.
Yeah,
for sure.
Reason why that was pulled.
Yeah.
It's that's a big thing about New York pop culture. It's jarring when you're watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and you see the Twin Towers there and you're like, oh, what? It's you don't think about it, but when you watch a movie, you realize it right away that it's missing.
Oh yeah, I think everyone that's around our age remembers where they were when they heard that news. It was a huge, obviously a huge deal.
Too.
Yeah, we were sitting next to each other at school.
And webmastering too. Talking about something, and then our teacher got a call, and then turned the TV on. And that's basically what led up to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's a lot of there's that Simpsons episode where they go to New York, and Homer hates New York, and the towers are involved in part of the plot. And I don't think they aired that episode for years afterwards because just trying to be sensitivity. All the people.
Yeah.
All right. So question 3 comes from Nolan. And he asks us, what movie or show would be improved by moving it to New York?
That's tough.
That is tough.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want.
Yeah. Still tough, though.
My answer is going to be...
I have an answer, too.
Ready for it? Wait, the camera's not moving. Sorry. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3.
Turtles 3.
Instead of going to Japan, just go to colonial New York or something.
That would have been really interesting, actually.
Or like maybe future New York. Like I have no problem with time travel, but like they did not do the Japan aspect well. If they had just stuck to New York, it would have still felt like what if Michelangelo made like a guy who was like a blacksmith make a pizza on his like Ford,
you know what I mean?
Same joke. Yeah.
And then we could see the colonial version of, the same Casey Jones ancestor could have been there. Ancestor.
They can make a joke about the fact that there's no sewer in New York, and that's just really weird.
For some odd reason, that a Hamato Yoshi ancestor just happened to be there, even though that makes no sense. Because it's turtles; they don't care about historical accuracy or scientific accuracy.
For sure,
man. There's a million and one movies we've seen, and all of them escape me right now because most of the ones I'm like, that's already set in New York.
I don't know, maybe like the Big Lebowski, that would have like an interesting tonal change.
It would definitely.
Because, it's a noir, it's a neo-noir anyway, so put it where all the other noir stories are.
Yeah, it's either California or New York.
Him having to deal with like all of the insane New York traffic, and he's such a chill dude.
Mm-hmm.
Just,
get
frustrated.
Have the Big Lebowski be more like a steel magnate as opposed to whatever he was.
Yeah, how did he get his money?
It would be interesting with the art angle because there is a big art underground in New York, so you could always like have her like on an off-Broadway stage. Maude, is that her name? I can't remember.
Yeah, Maude Lebowski.
I'm
also like Elf. No, Elf's already in New York.
Well, Kimber, what was your...
Yeah, I picked a show because so much of its identity comes from where the show takes place. I think moving it could be really interesting, and that's Dexter. Dexter takes place in Miami, and it's a huge part of the show, from the soundtrack to the feel and in general, everything. And I think it would just be interesting to even be able to see what forensics would be, different, like with the weather being different, because in Florida, the weather doesn't really change. And I would imagine in winter that forensics, all that snow and stuff has to have an effect. So that could have been interesting. And it would just have a completely darker feel, I think, in New York. Not that I don't appreciate the juxtaposition of like bright, beautiful, sunny Miami and then this murderer, but to have like a darker tone to a show like that could also, it could have been interesting. Way bigger city.
Still can have the slice of life because it's on the water.
Yeah. But yeah, just to see something completely different than what they gave us just by changing the city. That's something that came to mind.
Likes it.
I think going with a show. I didn't think about shows. One I would really like would be Burn Notice in New York as opposed to Florida. For similar reasons. It's like Florida is such a character in it, and I think New York would make a very interesting
because that's in Miami as well, so it's very brightly colored, and like, Michael Weston will be dressed in this suit, and then like everybody else is like dressed in like a bikini or board
palm
shorts
and
very colorful and vibrant, and he's like super serious looking. So like what kind of like cover IDs would have to like fit better in New York versus what could work with Miami, because down there it was like a lot of drug cartels and that kind of thing. And of course he couldn't speak Spanish. That was like the big joke, that you like live in Miami, you're from Miami, how do you not like pick up on some high school level Spanish? And I don't know, like what I guess I could probably work for New York too because of Puerto Rican population, but it'd just be interesting to see the kind of similar reasons that Kimber gave, the color palette changing, what other stuff would be changed.
Even in our town here, you'd be large Latino community. Interesting.
We're just copying off Kimber's paper. That's what we do.
Yeah, but with Dexter, real quick, like Dexter would have no problem finding abandoned buildings and stuff too in New York. I think it would almost be easier for him there as opposed to Florida.
He has competition.
And just having lived in in or near both of those cities, it would just be a whole completely different thing.
Seeing how like the bodies would be set up, because like one of the whole stories in Dexter is like the palm trees are involved. So like he was in the Rockefeller tree, and
well, they've done so many bits that were so specifically Florida, like tying a body up and feeding it to the alligators, like with ham and stuff. Like you couldn't do those bits. It would be a completely different thing.
Pizza Rat.
Want to do the last one?
Yeah. Who's your favorite New Yorker from pop culture?
Cap.
Good one. Good poll.
Yeah, just Captain America, especially the back and forth. No, actually, thinking about it, it'd be Peter Parker more. He was one of my first earlier favorite superheroes as well, because he was snarky and he kind of embodied that mentality of like, this is what a hero that lives in the city that spends more of his time being a hero than being a person would do. To me, he is what Batman was sans, money. So
for sure. Ashley?
I'm gonna have to go. I mean, I guess technically she's a transplant New Yorker, but Liz Lemon, she's lived in the city for a long time. That's where her career is established. I love Liz Lemon. I am Liz Lemon, so I'm gonna have to go with my girl.
It's fair. It's fair.
She bought all those hot dogs, so
they have a fun shape.
Yeah, so when I thought about where I wanted to go with this question, I wanted to pick somebody who was quintessentially New York to me. So I was like, when I think of New York, like who is that character that embodies New York? And for me, that's Casey Jones, particularly 90s Casey Jones from the movies. I think that might be like the first time I ever tried to like do a New York accent or even really know what a New York accent is and what it sounds like. When I think of New York, it's just, that's the voice. It's Casey Jones's attitude, everything about that character. So I had to pick Casey Jones.
I disagree.
Jose Canseco bat. Tell me. You didn't pay money for this.
It's Raphael. Raphael's
I love that back and forth between the two of them because he's like picking on a 15-year-old. It's so awesome.
But my answer is Raphael. Let me tell you how much I believe that movie. Jim Henson still blows my mind 20, 30 years later. 30 years. When I was a kid, my aunt lived on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, and we would go and visit her often. And I would refuse to walk on the manhole covers because I didn't want to like make the Ninja Turtles mad at me. That's how much I respected them.
Smart.
So yeah, they had a big influence on my New York experience as a kid.
Nice shirt. Yeah,
I wore it.
Yeah, I thought about getting a turtle shirt, but I was like, oh no, it's our turn. Raphael and Casey Jones are definitely my favorite characters, especially from the 1990 movie. Their rapport back and forth, and just that was perfect casting. Like I don't think they could ever get it as good as they did with I can't remember the actor's name, but
Elias Koteas.
He's just the best Casey Jones we've had on film. Way better than like the 80s cartoon version where he was basically like a mindless thug kind of character, but in that movie he's absolute perfection. They're back and forth, them fighting, and then him like not understanding certain terms and getting offended.
His hair
was pretty great.
He was good in 2 too.
Like it's hard to be like that 90s of a character and still for you to think back and be like, man, that dude was cool. But like he's still cool. Like I'm still down for it. Like I think that his lines and stuff are very memorable and it doesn't like really come off as cheesy as it could, Like I'm still like, you know what? That dude's rad.
Casey Jones also straight up tried to kill a guy and we're all okay with it.
And just, his hand just slipped.
Because it's Casey Jones and that was Shredder and it didn't matter because it was Casey Jones.
And I just love that he's cool with, like he meets these turtle dudes and then Splinter and it's like, whatever. I'm not going to freak out. I'm just a cool dude.
Yeah.
A couple other movies Elias Koteas was in. I believe it's the Prophecy series. He's in the first one. As well as he plays the main character's dad in Gattaca.
Nice. All right. Well, that's
also the guy that
And I think Raphael's the only turtle in that movie that actually has like a New York accent. Like everyone else's voices are just more generic or
Corey Feldman.
Yeah, Feldman. I was like, which Corey was it?
All right. Did you guys want to plug anything before we have to move on to the next person, which is TJ, by the way?
Well, this upcoming Sunday we are doing our Hulk episode of To Infinity War and Beyond.
The Incredible Hulk.
The Incredible Hulk, specifically the Incredible Hulk, not
otherwise,
that Ang
that would
Lee
be
thing.
Messed up. Watch the wrong movie. Get roasted.
And in the next 2 weeks, we will be doing Guardians and Avengers leading up to Infinity War, a week earlier than anticipated. Marvel. And this week I will be streaming a little bit of a new game. Not new, but another game. I did Ni no Kuni last week. I'm not going to write my paper over that game. I instead will be doing the Banner Saga. And I'm excited for Norse Oregon Trail.
Nice. Well, definitely check out their channel at Geeks to My Nerd. There is, you can either find them in the chat or in the featured channel. Whatever you want.
Yep. Check my articles over at screenmayhem.com. I should be having a Labyrinth one coming out soon. I think that they were going to wait to post that. They were going to do some site configuration, but I did write it. And I should have Game Over Man coming out soon as well. I need to finish that one. It's a Netflix movie. Starring
we got
3 guys from Workaholics.
We got 2/3 of the way through it. We got to finish it. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us as always.
Thank you for having us.
Have a good evening.
Y'all
See you in Texas.
Yeah, less than a month, guys.
I know. Excited.
Hi. Bobby! All right. So next up we have TJ. I want to thank all of our newcomers and those who have stuck around. Let's see what we got here.
TJ's been liking my answers tonight, so thanks for the support in the chat there, TJ. Oh, Mormo's here? Hey, Mormo.
You can't call him, though.
That's fine. I can wave to him. Hey, buddy.
TJ, I just need your email address.
Or you can just...
Oh, yeah. Here, TJ. Click this link, TJ. Kyle's complimenting your Momo doll. The Momo's Momo doll.
Nice. I can make a cow doll.
That'd be fun. There is the patron option of getting a doll.
Or you can just buy one from me and make things.
Yeah, but you also get the other perks like the speed pass and the...
I just want it on his shoulder at all times. We'll have to make it like a little harness or something. And
we'll make a Hodor to hold Mormo's doll.
I think we're just waiting for have we given up on Nolan? Did he have to leave?
I think Nolan's here, but he says he's on spring break, so he's on a rush to get in.
Oh, okay. Just waiting on TJ. Was TJ in the chat? Yeah. I can't see him from here. That's why I asked.
Well, we'll wait a minute or two to hear from TJ. If not, we'll move on to the next person. What are you going to miss about New York?
Not much, unfortunately. Fall is what I'm going to miss about New York. Florida does not change seasons. And it is incredibly beautiful where we're at in the Catskills when it's fall time. It's gorgeous. The leaves, like, I would travel out here again during fall just to experience that again. It's just when the snow comes that I'm done. Like, I like snow for like 2 days and then I'm really over it. It snowed again this morning. Ridiculous. too much. You're gonna have to ask Tom what exactly the lineup is when he gets back in, because it's a little hard to keep up with because of the thing. Halo, which part of Florida would you want it to move to? Just curious. Babe, the link isn't working. He sent you his email.
My handwriting is probably illegible.
Cal, you can't delete people's comments if they say they don't like snow. Come on now. Don't do that. It's right there. TJ Dex, the link is there.
Oh, see it. There you go. All right. And now we email TJ.
Nice. Yeah, I'm from the Fort Lauderdale area, which is like an hour north of Miami. So I used to spend a lot of time in Miami. It's a cool town.
She hated it.
It's definitely expensive to live right near Miami, but if you go somewhere like Fort Lauderdale, you're really centrally located. So you can get to like West Palm, which is a really cool area, which is more north, or you could go to Miami, which is more south.
Janine, do you plan on calling in? And if not, then we have...
Yeah, you don't have to delete all caps comments, Cal. That's fine. Who do we have?
Well, if Janine's not coming in next after TJ, we have Cal. Well, we'll try Nolan again. And then we have Cal, Eric Ossemacher, and Jonathan Peck. I'm going to miss the stars. I don't know if the stars are going to be the same. We have no light pollution up here.
Yeah, but I heard the stars at night are big and bright deep in the heart of Texas. That's what I've been told. You didn't like it.
I'll pick that up.
I think Mavis is just going to be glad to have things back to normal, because slowly all the furniture is going and she is very confused.
You took her favorite chair. Ashlyn.
We are having problems with getting callers in tonight, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. Ashlyn.
No,
Oh.
they don't know Ashlyn. Come on now.
So they'll believe me when I blank things up.
Really, we can't even see the stars like we could in Liberty. When we lived in the woods, it was amazing. It was gorgeous there, because they don't have lights on like any of the little side roads and stuff here. So when you get into the woods, it's very dark. I missed the nature of living out in our place before. We were right on this like little stream, and we would see like bald eagles, and
the guy who yelled at all those kids.
Bobcats and stuff have been around, and that was really cool. I liked that a lot. Hummingbirds, which you don't really get hummingbirds flying in your face in South Florida, so that was really unique.
That hummingbird was Kimber's nemesis. Now she misses it.
I do, because they're gorgeous.
Black
but
squirrels.
The thing about hummingbirds is, if you're not used to that, it just sounds like an enormous bug. Like, they're really fast, and they'll just get right in your face. So it sounds like a huge bug is near you, and then you realize it's a hummingbird. But by the time you're going, oh, a hummingbird, it's like zipping away.
Joe says he just realized the couch is going to be gone after this. Yeah, I'm going to be setting it on fire.
No, we're
at the end of the
we're trying to find
stream.
somebody to take the couch, actually. Bobcats are cool. Well, Nolan's
we were waiting
here.
on TJ, but Nolan's here.
Hi.
Hi.
How you doing? I had to go on my phone so it would work. It's not working on my computer for some reason.
All right, I'm just gonna turn you up a little bit. Just give me 1 second.
Okay.
Ba-da-ba-da, our friend Nolan's here. Might wanna let me do anything. TJ is also here.
Yeah, what's up, man?
All right, so we're just gonna roundtable this.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I can step out if you want.
No, you're fine.
Sure.
Don't do that on
What
my
is going
account,
on?
buddy.
I'll step out because that's a lot.
Okay, so we're gonna do a speed round. It's nice to see you both. But we're gonna try to get everybody in here. Sorry. So first up, Nolan. Yusuf asks, what movie based in New York makes you want to move there?
Okay, it's a really weird answer, but me and Morgan were just talking about it on It's a Wonderful Podcast a couple weeks ago. West Side Story makes me want to move to New York because I like the idea of being in a fashionable gang that breaks into dance and song every now and then.
That might be your answer for number 2, but we'll see. TJ, what do you have? What movie makes you want to, or TV show makes you want to move to New York?
I have a very offhand answer that most people probably wouldn't agree with, and this is just like me as like a 12-year-old kid growing up. Harmony Korine's Kids, not what the movie represents, but how those kids basically ran amok in that city and were able to do anything they wanted to do, from the partying to the empty places they hung out with, just that whole skating culture going up in the late 90s, semi mid 90s of that.
Yeah, as far as both your answers go, Nolan, I remember West Side Story, but I don't really remember West Side Story.
It's Romeo and Juliet in New York.
Yeah, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, I would like to see you. Would you want to be a jet or a shark?
Definitely a jet. They have better songs.
Okay, good answer. And TJ, I'm not familiar with the movie you're talking about, but there's another movie called August Rush, and it has Robin Williams in it and the kid who's in Bates Motel.
Yeah.
And that's a really good one too, about kids just running around. And I played that. I used to work at Blockbuster. We could just put movies on. I would have that play all day, just because the sound was really good.
Yeah, Kids has this the whole undertone is all about AIDS and how kids are having unsafe sex. It's like Harmony Korine, he was this 15-year-old skating prodigy who gave up skating and just started filming skateboarders. And he's that type of director. He did Gummo and this movie called Bully and Kids, obviously, but he really takes the environment, which he took New York and just made it its own character. And Bully, he does it with Miami. Kimber, I don't know if you're familiar with it because it's in Florida. And then in Gummo, he does it in Ohio and how it's a tornado-stricken town, and how these kids just kind of no parental advisory to them. It's definitely it's heart-wrenching stories that really hurt and connect to you, but also the way these kids had no type of, there's no holds bar for these kids. So that thing, seeing that 12, obviously not the bad stuff, but the stuff where they're able to do whatever they want to do is stuff that I was oh, that's awesome. I want to do that.
All right. Well, getting into question 2, I'm just going to start off with TJ this time. Ashley asks, what movie or TV show gets the most wrong about the city or state?
I was probably going to go the MCU shows like Daredevil and Punisher and Iron Fist. Everything just so confined to that little spot. It literally makes it. I know it's all supposed to be at the Avengers, the events in New York, but just everything about it really makes New York just look like a rat hole. And I know some of it might be here and there, but it's too dark.
It's a pizza rat hole.
I'm also I'm disappointed that there's no guys dressed as the Green Goblin flying around New York.
Just full armor.
It might be.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
Yeah, right.
Nolan, what's your answer for this?
This was a tough one because I actually like the show a lot, and the second season of Glee has all the kids go to New York, and kind of like what Kimber was talking about with the sort of tortured artist thing, it presents New York in kind of too glamorous. Like, they all go to Broadway, they all get to sing on a stage. But I thought it would have been more interesting and worked well with the show, with the underdog feeling, if they had showed like a struggling artist section of the episode, maybe like a busker or like a band on the street or something like that, and then you see another side of what trying to make it as a musician is.
Interesting. Yeah, I never watched Glee, but I believe what you're saying.
I think I've caught an episode here and there.
You asked us what movie or show would be improved by moving the setting to New York.
This is also very tough. Admittedly, I thought of that off the box. I didn't really think of an answer for it. I'm going to kind of cheat around this one a little bit. It's not necessarily the setting would move to New York, but there was a movie that was going to be filmed in New York that didn't end up happening, and that was It from last year. Cary Fukunaga wanted to originally film it in New York, but there's something about it being very expensive to shoot there. But I kind of think the personality of New York would have added a bit to the whole Pennywise and the Losers Club kind of characters, and especially with characters like Richie and Stan, and it might have given it a little bit of difference from the 90s one.
Yeah, I don't know. 90s New York would not feel like Maine at all.
It's probably not.
So I'm glad they didn't make that choice. TJ, what's your answer for this one?
I'm sitting here staring at my shelf, trying to just figure out a movie that might work in New York, and I'm going to go with Howard the Duck. Let's move that to New York instead of Cleveland. It's the most. Let's just go very simple with this one, and just, you know, I had nothing for that one.
Answer I've heard tonight.
Yeah, let's move to New York. That's Cleveland. I'm sure he could have had a nice little pun for that at some point. So yeah, Leah Thompson's and her band. So I'll play off of Nolan's answer. We'll have Leah Thompson's Cherry Bombs, struggling artist in New York, Glee-wise. We'll take that and we'll switch it up.
They could always end up in Cleveland, like they make it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right. Last question for the night. I'll start off with TJ again. Who's your favorite New Yorker in pop culture?
It was going to be Casey Jones.
It can still be Casey Jones.
It's probably still going to be Casey Jones. And I love what they did with the character in the 90s. Short-sighted in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. He got completely wasted in that one. So I would have loved two of them see back in New York, like you suggested, and use him for everything that he was could be. Stephen Amell, very disappointed in. I love the casting because I love Arrow, but unfortunately, he definitely didn't nail it whatsoever. He lost everything that was Casey Jones. And if anyone gets a chance, there's this really awesome YouTube short they did of Casey Jones. It's like 30 minutes long, to where they kind of flip it to where he meets Michelangelo instead of Raphael for the first time. Where they kind of like dive into like his like growing up, being a failed hockey player and like living, you know, in New York. So it's pretty cool. And the guy who plays him has this really awesome New York accent. It's pretty cool.
Nice. What about you, Nolan? Who's your favorite New Yorker?
Well, I was going to say Peter Parker for obvious reasons. He's my favorite fictional character of all time. But the one thing about Peter Parker is, whilst he may be a superhero and have a lot of cool villains, he's not the son of Poseidon. So I'm going with Percy Jackson for this one, because he's got all the stuff that I love about the Peter Parker character, but then you also add in all the stuff about being the son of a god and going on to fight all these monsters and all these Greek-style myths. And I absolutely adore these books. That's why I'm wearing this shirt as well, the Camp Half-Blood shirt. And yeah, Percy Jackson's a dope character, and I hope they get another chance to be a movie series.
Nolan, would you say you're the Camp Half-Blood Prince?
Sure. I'm growing my hair out for it, so might as well.
Good to know. All right, well, that's all the questions we have. Nolan, did you want to plug anything?
Well, it's been such a long time since I've chatted to you guys, but there's been a couple changes on my own channel. I'm no longer doing video essays. My channel's now being rebranded as Stories as Lessons, so it's kind of like half comedy sketch, half like analysis of film stuff. I just put one up about a series of unfortunate events where a very special guest, Lemony Snicket, showed up in my flat, and he still hasn't had time to leave. If you're free, go check those out. And I'm going to be doing Percy Jackson next.
I have one question. Is Carmelita going to be there?
No, I hate her. She's the worst.
She is the worst.
Cake sniffer.
Ugh.
Alrighty, TJ, anything you want to talk about, or you want to tell people where they can find you if they want to continue discussing movies?
Yeah, guys, you guys can find me at TJ Dex on Twitter. You guys can yell at me or talk to me about Howard the Duck and those type of things. Other than that, I'm just like kind of rebranding the site and Movie Squad YouTube. Figure out, I'm not going to do the review thing, more or less just thoughts, and just going to kind of go more podcast style too, and just talk about those weird movies I like to get into. So those type of things. So yeah.
Nice. I'd like to thank both of you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you soon.
Yes. Good luck with the move, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
Adios, compadres.
We need the luck because it is a lot of work to move across the country. This just in.
Justin.
Who we got next? Cal?
You got Cal, yeah. Cal, Eric Ostemacher, Jonathan Peck. Back to the original top order.
Carmelita.
I'm Carmelita.
Her name is Carmelita. Yeah.
Vice Principal Nero likes me best.
What did I say? Does NPH's back hurt from carrying this show?
Oh, okay. Ah. Copyright.
Hello. How are you?
Your intro. Wow, look at that. Look at that.
How are you?
Echoing.
Are you echoing?
Yeah.
A lot.
Hold on.
It's
Done.
Okay,
Right.
we're good. I think it was
the red room. I can't figure it out. That's just what happens when you get in there.
the fact that you're talking in the right direction is a miracle enough.
Well, maybe that's what I had to do right now. I just reversed it for you guys.
Oh, okay, good. All right, you want to go ahead and
Sure.
get him started? Cal, by the way, congrats on all your success on your channel, man.
Oh, thank you.
You look pro. You got them pro numbers. You're doing great, man.
Thank you. I try. I'm trying to, build everyone. Like I've been trying to tell everyone about everybody and all that. So, hopefully everyone grows together. That's what I want. That's my goal. So
Nice. Yeah, they're giving you some love for your background in the chat here.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had to do when they had the echo, I was supposed to mute them as well, but I'm sorry about that. But it was just technical difficulties. I've never done this before, but it's always a running joke. I'm always what?
If they have another season of Twin Peaks, I know what background you need to use for Twin Peaks.
Oh yes, I know. And I want to get you know what? I'd probably have if I can do it, I'll get a Comlock and doing that thing first. Because now that I have a good computer, he'll actually do it to intro you guys first. And then that'd be cool. Thank you, Janine. Thank you.
The cool thing though is now you can actually fade into the distance.
Yeah, it's gonna be perfect.
Opacity.
Oh, I can't do that because then the green screen will fall over. But I can go as far as back as I can. It'll be 5 feet.
No, you just turn down the opacity of your video so you fade and the image stays.
Okay, I will try to do
I mean, not right now. Answer this question.
No, I will try it anyway.
So, Yusuf asked today, what movie based on New York makes you want to move there?
Oh, man. I kind of live there already in a way. But if I had to, I don't know. I always thought Cruel Intentions was pretty cool because they're all super rich, living in penthouses and big mansions. But I didn't know if it had to be New York City or not, or New York at all. So that's why I said Cruel Intentions, because it gives you the best of the countryside as well as the city. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that question can be just New York. It doesn't have to be New York City because we're not.
In that case, Xavier School for Gifted Mutants.
Oh, that's true too. See, that's awesome.
All right. So Ashley at that _ Mrs. Davis asked, what movie or TV show gets the most wrong about the city or state of New York?
Anywhere where you show they can park easily. Any movie or show that shows you can park easily. Period.
Yeah, I loved that on Broad City. They did a whole bit about they go to Florida and she inherits this car from one of her relatives that died, and they drive it back to New York. And when she gets there, like they have the top down and they're riding around, and it's so cool. And then like it cuts to them and they're like freezing because the top is like stuck down and they couldn't get it back up.
For 3 hours
They've been driving in a loop for hours. They can't find anywhere to park to even put the top up. Yeah, I think they just leave it there for somebody to steal. So at least they got that accurate on Broad City. Nolan at Nolan Dean 27 asked, what movie or TV show would be improved by moving the setting to New York?
Oh man, I had no idea. I don't know that much stuff like that. I don't know. Let's just say Twin Peaks. No, that's not my answer because like I love Twin Peaks. So that's what I just said. But no, Twin Peaks is fine where it is. I have no idea. The new Twin Peaks?
He said there's a part of Twin Peaks, like one of the storylines takes place in New York with the box thing, but he means like the town being in New York. You could do it in like upstate.
There was an episode of Supernatural in our county.
Yeah. Did you have anything else to say about that before?
No, I honestly came unprepared. I had no idea what the answers, like to how to answer these, because I really didn't know.
All right, yeah, fair enough. And just one more tonight, pretty broad question, but what's your favorite character from pop culture that's a New Yorker?
I think this counts. I'm not sure, but Jason from Friday the 13th. Isn't that Camp Crystal Lake's in New York, I think.
I don't know.
Camp Crystal Lake is 30 minutes from us.
Is it?
There you go. So, yeah, that's why I chose. I think Jason was in New York, so that's why I chose New York. I mean, Jason, because he's cool. He's a good guy, man. I don't know. I like him. He's misunderstood, I think. He's one of my favorite serial killers. He's one of my favorite slasher. He's my favorite slasher, I should say. So I chose him. Oh, hey, Billy.
Hi, Billy.
All right, yeah, well, that's actually all the questions for tonight. Do you want to let everyone know where they can find you on your channel that we were talking about before?
I got my shirt on.
Oh, nice.
I got my Night's Watch.
Yeah, I know. Nice shirt. Everyone's got nice shirts. No, I just want to say, first of all, like you guys, I hope heard what I know. You guys heard probably what I said about you guys in the video, the 250 sub raffle, and that I really mean that. You know, I'm so glad you guys came into my lives, and it sucks that you guys are moving away. Even though we live so close, we did see each other as much as we could, I guess. But you know, it sucks that you guys are moving away. I'm sad to see that you guys go, but hopefully I'll be down there soon enough. That's pretty much it. I just want the family to keep growing. You know, we've been, you know, I'm glad to see we have some new people in the chat as well, and you know, keep on growing. That's what I care about. Keep the family growing, and you can always find me at Viranja Deja Vu on Twitter. That's how you say it properly, and that's always gonna be a running joke on this show. You know, check me out on the Kingslayer Network. Support me there on YouTube as well as on Twitch. Now I'm on Twitch, and I don't know. That's pretty much it. Like I stream every day, and then we have a new Aftermath. The season finale of season 1 of Aftermath is on Sunday it's on Monday because WrestleMania is on Sunday.
Awesome.
So. Yep.
Yeah, and if you ever get time, come visit us in Texas, and if not, before then, we'll definitely see you at the wedding. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. And if there's a snowfall in Texas, I will be there. I'll be the first person there. But until then, I will see you in 25 years.
Oh no, 25 years.
No, I don't want to go too far. I don't want to go too far. Cut me out soon.
Oh no, he's gonna crash. He's gone.
He didn't want to ruin the illusion, but it would have been kind of funny if he hit the green screen and everything fell apart.
No, his mom worked hard on that.
Well, yeah, I mean, not like damage it, but just enough to ruin the illusion.
Next is Eric. TJ wants to know. We looked up how far Kermit, Texas was. I don't remember how far it was.
I love Kermit.
Eric, I'm just going to need your email. Or I can, hold on, I'll throw the link in there.
Yeah, and if anyone else is in the chat who wants to call, just give us a little reminder so we make sure that we don't forget anybody. Was Halo going to call?
I thought so.
That's what Cal said, but I'd love confirmation. Yeah, and thanks for bearing with us while in between callers. It's always hectic, and I do want to get a better system where we actually have everybody's emails on deck. Once we move, I'll work on that.
I want a better computer.
That too.
It's our next goal. We're almost at our first goal on Patreon. Almost got it. Close. Too close. And it did not. Link almost never works. And okay. Well.
Let us have your email.
Oh, here it is.
Yeah, there it is. You found it. And who else is on the list? Who's after Eric? Just to have confirmation.
After Eric is Jonathan Peck.
Okay.
Let's just keep in mind we have to, unfortunately, do these pretty quickly so we can get everybody in.
Eric Monroe is calling as well as Halo.
Yeah, I have them on this.
Cool. Just double checking. Don't want to forget anybody. Yeah, it's so weird because sometimes the link works much better for people than sending the invite. So
hey guys, I feel like it's been like 2 months.
Hey buddy.
Hey.
Hi.
It's been like 2 months since I've last called in.
Well, you're here now with that beautiful microphone.
Yeah.
You got to call in for the New York one, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
All right. Well, we're going to start off right off the bat with the first question. What movie based in New York makes you want to move there? I know you already live there, but what about like maybe another section of New York?
Yeah, no, see, I'm actually going to cheat by answering this question by answering a question you're not asking. So I want to live where I live now. So the show or movie that would make me want to live there would be the one that best represents where I live now. So the show that best represents Long Island is absolutely Everybody Loves Raymond, because that is like, it's like as much as King of the Hill represents living in like suburban Texas.
Yeah.
Everybody Loves Raymond very accurately represents living on Long Island. It's it's like almost 1 for 1.
Where's your accent? You do not sound like you're from Long Island.
Well, this is Suffolk County. It's like you're probably more familiar with like the like Nassau. They're the longer. I'm from Long Island.
Long Island.
That was kind of Long Island. Yeah, no, that's a little further west. I'm more so towards the middle of the island, where it's like with the expressway, there's like 10 exits left. So
it's pretty long, right?
Yeah, it is a very long island. Haha.
Well, you know how long.
I mean, it is triple the size of Rhode Island, but.
What's cool about Long Island is it's a result of like the Ice Age when everything was melted.
I live on a glorified sand barge.
Exactly. All of the sediment and stuff that the glaciers dragged across New York.
And that's something you only learn if you grew up living in New York, because they teach you that in like 4th grade.
Yeah, the first time I ever came to New York, I went to Long Island, so I've spent some time.
Pre-Tom.
Pre-Tom.
She was in my state. I didn't know it. I was in it times too, so fair. Okay. Question 2. Ashley asks, what movie or TV show gets the most wrong about the city or state?
I mean, obviously, Joe and TJ both took my answer, but I'm going to decide to go with a different answer, and I'm going with Men in Black 3, because in present day, there's no way we could still get away with aliens, just having regular lives. Even with the Men in Black organization, there's absolutely no way that doesn't accidentally get on recording. just because literally everything's being recorded now. There's no way.
Unless they run YouTube. Makes sense.
Men in Black own Google. Okay.
They would be able to erase any evidence off of your
Do I
phone.
need to go make a tinfoil hat? Because I'll do it.
I've said we should have tinfoil hats on standby at all times.
How do you know this isn't tin lined? It's not, but
I think it is.
but
right.
yeah, it's this Men in Black 1 and 2 somewhat believable. You know, it wasn't recording all the time. Men in Black 3, no.
What was cool about Men in Black 3 was when he jumped off the building to do the time travel, and you got to see the architecture being made, and like
I loved that.
That was really cool.
And you know, honestly, both time travel sequences are pretty cool. I also like, you know, at the end of that movie where he has to continuously lose the fight to try to, you know, learn the pattern and get through. I'm like, I love that sequence. It's like one of the real good things about that movie. The rest of it's just kind of okay.
I love the side character who could see all.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, he's great. I just wish I remembered his name. Anyway, Nolan asked, what movie or TV show would be improved by moving its setting to New York?
So it's a very long setup for a joke, and nobody's gonna understand this unless. So my answer is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now it's like, once again, I will have him, instead of, you know, his family living in Bel Air, California, he will instead be from Bel-Terre, Long Island. So he would then become the Fresh Prince of Bel-Terre instead of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
The cab drive would definitely be less expensive.
Yeah, it would definitely be a lot less expensive. It makes sense that, you know, because, you know, Uncle Phil is originally from Philadelphia. It makes sense to go from there to Long Island if you're then going across country. It's like, unless you're just trying to get away from your family, which, you know, maybe he was, maybe he wasn't, but still, going to Long Island is just as believable. And I feel like you can hit on a lot of the same themes that the show does hit on, but on Long Island.
I like that answer.
Yeah, that's creative.
But also, I did it for the pun.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. All right. Well, the final question: who is the best New Yorker in pop culture?
And now this one is difficult because there are a lot of quintessential New Yorkers. So I have to go with the quintessential New Yorker. Whether it be in this millennium or the next, I have to go with Philip J. Fry, because he's just like, you know, he's a guy, he's sort of a slacker, he's just trying to do his thing, but then he, you know, is like, he doesn't know what to do with his life, and then he gets sent to the future, and it's like his entire purpose just seems to, you know, and it's just such a great story that, you know, he sort of didn't fit in his time, but he fits in pretty well in the future. And I just love his story so much. And I also love Futurama. It's such a great show, and the Futurama is nothing without Fry. So
yeah, I think that show's success is in showing New York as a melting pot is, you know, probably one of the best examples of that, in the way that they use it in the future. And now a lot of the cast are aliens and from completely different parts of the universe and stuff.
Gives a whole new meaning to xenophobia.
Yeah, but I think that it's successful because some shows do struggle with showing the diversity of that city, and that one, that's a huge success, you know?
Yeah. Well, like you're saying that, like, he doesn't really belong. I think that's what kind of, obviously there are the few people who in the city grew up in the city and stay in the city and stuff, but the New York attracts people who feel like they don't belong, and I feel like that's a big, like, it's a family of black sheep, you know what I mean? I think that's what's really cool about New York City. If it wasn't as loud and smelled less like garbage, I'd probably like it more, but I always end up going there on garbage day. I don't know how to avoid that.
Every day is garbage day, except in the future when garbage is outlawed.
Yeah, they send it up.
I go there on poop day because that's what it smells.
Well, your mother in the streets.
It's the modern day King's Landing. That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Eric, did you want to plug anything before you have to go?
Well, yeah, of course. So, obviously we haven't recorded a down pilot in a while, but I have a new show that I've been working on. I've got a couple episodes out now. Second episode just got posted on the I believe the Game Fixers channel. It's called Is It Rotten? It stars myself, Mac, Corey, and Zach, aka Mads BBL. So it's the four of us talking about a movie and debating on whether or not it should have been if critics were just wrong about it. The first episode was on Major League 2 because that had like a 5%, and like it was like we had that. The episode just released today was on Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, which was a thing. But next episode's the one I'm most excited about. It's the last episode we have in the can right now, and that we're talking about a movie that's near and dear to my heart. The second time I've recorded a podcast about it, Rat Race.
Nice.
I got to do it again because that's just I have to talk about Rat Race. Any chance that I get, I have to talk about Rat Race. I love that movie.
Well, Down Pilot podcast will definitely be picking back up once we're settled in Austin, and I think we're going to pick it up with Generation X. That was the plan.
Yeah. And, the show that the pilot we chose to tie into Black Panther, it'll come out around the time that Infinity War is around.
not even. The nice thing is that there'll always be a Marvel project.
Yeah, there's always going to be Marvel. It's like at this point we've missed Black Panther, we've missed Jessica Jones. No.
I think it was always meant to be a tie-in to Deadpool, to be honest.
Sure.
So we'll aim for that at least. Thanks, Eric, for coming by. It's a pleasure as always.
Always.
And I hope you have a great night.
Yeah, you too. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Up next, we got Jonathan Peck. Hey, Raul, welcome. John, I just need your email address, and I'm going to turn my phone off so you can't call it because that happens every time. I don't know my phone is. Raul, yeah. I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. Really nice, steady amount of people. We really appreciate it. Bam, 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 bam. All right, let's try this out. Hopefully we'll have a more successful go at this.
It's my hair's last show, too.
Yeah, this is Kimber's hair's last show. And cut it all off. Oh, wow. Thank you, TJ. We feel the same way. Look at that. Worked first time.
Yeah, it works finally.
Hey, Jonathan. For some reason, you're sideways.
Same thing with you.
Whoa.
But, okay. All right. Let me just in case.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Take your time. Awesome background.
Thank you. Just give me a moment. Just how about
is your screen rotation off? Because that might be why your screen's not turning.
Okay, give me a second.
Got John in on the first time. There we go.
All right, that's fine.
Huzzah. All right, John, thank you so much for waiting. Welcome. I'm glad we got you in early this time. You don't have to wait till the end. And we're just going to have to rush through these so we can get to everybody else, but I appreciate you swinging through. So first off, we have Yusuf asking us, what movie based in New York makes you want to move there?
It's from like a weird source of a movie that makes you want to join New York, but at the same time, you're very curious about it in the same time, though. The movie I was picking is Coming to America, and here's why I picked that movie. The reason why I picked that movie because, well, we all know the story about the film Coming to America is about Prince Hakeem goes to New York to find a bride. Not only about that, because you also go to New York and found interesting places around the city, though, even the small urban places around town along with it. So I'm going to sort of pick one. It might be a perfect sort of attraction around to go to New York.
Yeah, that's a great answer, too, because you see somebody completely out of their element experiencing New York for the first time, like someone who's not familiar with it at all. So that's a cool pick.
Thanks.
Question 2, Ashley asks, what movie or TV show gets the most wrong about the city or state?
I had to legit do some serious research on this, but it took for me a very long time to finally figure out which answer might be sort of New York. But if I personally have to choose, it's sort of a bit of a cop-out answer, but I'll have to pick the Marvel Netflix shows. They got Lily. Well, minus Luke Cage, though, they got the Half Part of Harlem right, but the rest of the show, they didn't get some of the New York stuff very right.
I agree. And that's definitely it's a popular answer for a real reason. You know what I mean? You would know if all this stuff like that's, and it's not just the MCU universe. Like Marvel Comics is just equally as guilty as that. That most of their storylines happen to take place in New York. Whether it's X-Men or Avengers or whatever. So I do like that they have an upstate facility though in the MCU universe. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, question 3. Nolan asked us, what movie or TV show would be improved by Wait, did I just say that? I did, didn't I?
Huh?
No, I didn't. Well, okay, sorry. What movie or city would be improved by moving the setting to New York?
I'm taking a page out of your book. I picked a third movie in a trilogy, or should I say the most unexpected trilogy ever made. I picked The Hangover Part 3 as my choice. And the question is to improve a movie by setting it in New York. We all know about Hangover Part 3 and its sequel before it. It's not sort of, let's just say, beloved as the first Hangover film. Let's just say it like that. But the reason why I picked that movie because what did they supposed to do? Not only there is no bachelor party, there is no people missing like that. It's just sort of like a kidnapping story, but it feels like when you get to the third act when they went to Vegas, it really goes back to it right here. But this time, I switch it up a bit and move it to New York this whole time. But you can tell if you watch the third film, it's not legit like a comedy. As a matter of fact, it's shot like an action movie, disguised as being a comedy. Even some of it, not so much, though. Even if you're trying to attempt the humor, not so much, though, like that. And that's the reason I pick it in New York, though, because it's also at one point out of your element, complete confused, but a little satisfactory in the end.
Yeah, it would be interesting if they showed up in Chinatown and thought that they somehow ended up in China or whatever.
Yeah, and then they thought in Bangkok again.
That'd be cool. All right, last question for the night. What character from pop culture is your favorite New Yorker?
Oh, first off, hi, Kim. Sorry.
Oh, no.
Sorry. My headphones. My bad. Sorry about that. First off, hi, Kim.
Hey.
Hey. When I read this question and it's found what's the best New Yorker from pop culture? I was kind of thinking more like a real life person about this, and I got a pen of someone that is kind of identifies New York even more behind the camera, and I'm going to show you this person's face as my answer.
I don't know who that is.
That's Martin Scorsese.
Never heard of him.
I went to my outside of the box choice. I picked Martin Scorsese because if you watch most of his movies, there's mostly set, talked about, or story around New York. Though it was for Goodfellas, took with Taxi Driver, Mean Streets, Wolf of Wall Street, and then other his films. It really gets New York very clear and very rightly, and it's from a guy behind the camera who knows, born and raised in New York from himself, though. So I picked him because, like, he gets New York right very well.
Yeah, I think for sure, especially Taxi Driver, like you were saying before, like Casey Jones was like, and I don't think I saw Taxi Driver when I was a kid or anything, but like you would hear that impression all the time. You talking to me? I don't see anybody else here. So like, that must have been I feel like that was one of my first like into that New York stereotype. But yeah, it's a great answer. Definitely out of the box, and we always appreciate that.
And also,
do you have it?
Before I sign off, I got a surprise for all of you if you're seeing this. I did something over the weekend with my dad. We went to a convention center in Washington, D.C., and some Patron Supporters guests were there, so I'm going to show you a picture of that person. Give me a minute for that. Okay.
Well, you came back faster than expected.
Drum roll, please. Drum roll.
What?
I'm ready for drum roll.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said Ja Rule. I don't know why that.
Got it.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Thanks.
You like that guy.
This is yeah. I went to OSCON, Washington, D.C. Last Saturday with my dad, and he was there at the convention center along with my other two guests with them.
Nice.
Thanks.
Cool.
And I have a great time with me and my dad over there. We have a good time right here, which also I got to a altercation with someone dressed up a Darth Vader suit. We got to a little scuffle along with it. So, spoiler alert on that match, I kind of defeat that person.
Well, I'm glad you came out unscathed, unlike Darth Vader, who pretty much got messed up. But
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us. Do you want to let people know where they can find you on Twitter so they can talk movies or whatever you want to do?
Yeah. You can find me at Twitter at jpad1098 on Twitter, though. Same thing with my Instagram or around social media. So that's pretty much it. And if you look through for my social media, though, there's some more pictures at me at AwesomeCon. So for more information about that.
Great. Well, and thanks again, Jonathan, for being a patron. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Bye.
Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da. Eject button's jumping around on me.
Eric Monroe?
No, Halo. Halo.
Raul.
Oh, Raul. That patron status. We gotta.
You still here, Raul? You want to call in?
Raul, blink twice if you're still here. Bark twice if you're in Milwaukee. Anchorman.
You can just send it. And then
So it's going to be Raul, then Halo, then Eric Monroe. Keep waiting for Troy to come in and cash in on that fast pass. Gonna have to wait another month. Sorry, Troy. Troy's even in town in New York.
Hey guys.
Hey, Raul.
You can say hi too. Hi.
Hi, stranger.
They're in New York.
Oh, they're close. I was all looking, but I couldn't see what I was looking like. I was like, where am I at?
I'm in a supermarket.
Why don't you ask her what movie or TV show based in New York would make her want to move there? Or you can answer
I
it.
didn't ask.
Well, then what would you say?
Oh, Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. What movie or TV show based in New York would make you want to move there?
There's a lot of movies and TV shows, but movie I would say The Devil Wears Prada. I like how they explore a lot of things from the fashion and all of it. There's a lot of buildings that I love. They explore a lot of them in Devil Wears Prada, and TV show is Gossip Girl. That's the thing that I love the most about Gossip Girl because it's totally shot in the city, and so those are my choices.
Tom says that you're in Trader Joe's. Is that true?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm grabbing one of my favorite cheeses is a double cream Gouda.
Well, Gouda for you.
He says grab some of that garlic spread. It's fantastic.
Oh, I had to try one.
This should be a TV show, Shopping with Raul.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Ashley asked us, what movie or TV show gets the most wrong about New York City or state?
Even though I have visited New York like only twice, I think I would choose Friends because they don't. Even though I love Friends so much, they don't show a lot of the city. You can notice that everything was a studio, and so I think I would choose that. I would choose Friends. Also, another movie that why I love New York so much since I was there was Home Alone 2. Because I totally wanted to get lost in New York and try to survive like Macaulay Culkin.
You just wanted to eat a pizza in the back of a limousine. We all did.
Yes, also true. And I also wanted a creepy teen Corey trying to kill me in a hotel.
No, thank you.
Well, for me, it's always fun. You know that I like those kind of adventures.
You do. It's true. Nolan. Thank you. Nolan asked, what movie or TV show would be improved by moving the setting to New York?
This is a hard one because I was thinking right now by driving, and I was thinking like Modern Family because the thing with Modern Family is that they all live in like different areas of LA, and they all have like really big houses. So it would be different, like to see them being in New York City, like trying to go into different boroughs of the city and where do they live, how they will manage going through the subway and going through taxis. And it would change a lot of the setup, and that would be interesting.
Not that kind of subway thing. All right.
You made me want a sub when you said subway.
All right. And who is the best New Yorker in pop culture?
Even though I don't know if he's really from New York, but I would choose Jerry Seinfeld because all of his jokes are New York based, even in the TV show. So I think, especially the way that he talks, and so that he's one of my favorites.
Nice. Well, Raul, why don't you tell all the people at home where they can find you?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Raul Beto RVC. Also, you can find there's the link right here for my podcast, The Monday Show. We went so random to this episode because we were reviewing a lot of movies and then we got distracted so many times, and so it was a really funny one.
Awesome.
Nice.
You can definitely check out all of Raul's content. We should have it down in the featured channel. Definitely check that out. Subscribe. We talk about a lot of cool things like lowdown reviews.
Yeah, like this episode we talk about Unsane, Ready Player One, Sherlock Gnomes. Oh, Sherlock Gnomes was pretty enjoyable for me.
Do you have one about Scooby Natural? That's the real question.
That we're gonna review it, I think, in like on the weekend because Troy hasn't seen the episode yet, but we're gonna review it.
When you do, definitely tag me and I'll check it out and I'll share it for you, buddy.
Okay. And also, did you already saw it?
Yeah.
Oh my God! Just really quickly, what do you think?
It was
so
awesome.
Good. It was really good.
Oh my God! I already have seen it like 3 times already. I love it.
It's on my computer.
I was bragging to one of my friends about how you got to go to that cool event and stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, but my favorite scene is Castiel meeting Scooby-Doo and saving Scooby-Doo and Shaggy. It's like my favorite scenes, even though the whole episode is so damn great.
Yeah, it was
It's a
awesome.
good one. If you haven't had a chance to see it yet, you should definitely check it out. But Raul, thank you so much for not only being an amazing person, as always, but a patron producer and
And an amazing friend.
Yeah, great.
Also,
We miss
in
you, buddy.
Really tall.
in the future, I could go and visit Austin because, like Kimber said, we need to try that Jensen Brewery Company.
Yes.
Come.
We'll
do
do
it.
an odd shaped travels if you come through. That'd be fun.
We're hoping to do a lot more now that we're going to be living in like a new place. Like I would love to do food truck reviews. Like I would love to go to different conventions. Like, so I'm hoping to be able to get out of the house and do more.
Yeah.
We'd still, of course, do our live back and forth shows, but I like to kind of do more. But thank you, Raul, for coming through again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Enjoy your shopping.
Bye, guys. Bye, baby.
With the garlic spread.
Bye. Bye.
Okay. So let's try it.
Patron, we appreciate you.
He's a Speed Pass member now?
He is. Look at that.
Look at that.
As Tom updates
The list. We have 2 bills who support us. So I sent you an invite, Halo. If you don't get that, let me know. We can also try to send you a link. And if that doesn't, never mind. Look at that, first try.
Hello.
Hi, Halo. How's it going? Oh,
we can't hear you.
classic.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, you're not. It looks like you're muted. No.
Now?
Hello? Oh. We heard a noise and then it went away. Why have you forsaken us? No.
No.
Weird.
Okay, how about now?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay.
How are you?
Trying to be able to use the mic on my headphones, I guess. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
You're doing great. Thanks for calling in. We've seen you many a time in our various streams, and we appreciate your support. Thanks
for having me.
No problem. So not to rush through this, but we do have a few more people to get in. So I'm going to get right into question 1 after I take these headphones away from my cat. Yusuf asked us, what movie based in New York or TV show would make you want to move there?
So this was really hard, but after I thought about it, because it's kind of hard to figure out if it's a time period or New York, but I picked Mad Men. Just because it's kind of the industry I'm in, and the characters are really cool, and it kind of creates this like, it kind of romanticizes this, the idea of going and working in New York. So that's what I picked.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, interesting.
And you watched all of Mad Men recently.
I would go into Mad Men just for the clothes of that time period.
So, and there's some great fashion in New York, so
yeah. Control Google's fighting me right now. Okay, Ashley asked us, what movies or TV show get the most wrong about the city or state?
So someone took my. Oh, I got an echo. Don't I?
Sound fine on our end.
Oh, okay, as long as it's fine on your end. So I picked. Someone took my original answers, so I thought about it a little bit more, and I picked The Warriors. There's a lot wrong in The Warriors, but there's nothing realistic about there only being gangs in New York and no one else, and they're all on a radio talking to each other and singing and dancing and running around New York, fighting each other in the middle of the street. So there's a lot wrong about that whole movie. Not to mention the games are totally unrealistic. They're all like very diverse, and that's usually not how gang activity works. So while it did a good job of representing all the different types of people who can be in New York, it was a very realistic depiction of what gangs in New York might be like. So that's what I picked.
Another great New York movie, Gangs of New York.
Yeah. I love Warriors. I think that's an awesome movie that's still really good to watch nowadays, and kind of a time capsule in a way. So I'm wondering how much more accurate it is to the time period, because maybe New York was more like that in, like, I would imagine that's like the 70s.
Yeah.
So there's that factor too. But I would love to be in the Warriors version of New York. Even though you might be hurt, you still get like a sweet vest. You have like your crew.
I want a Warrior Side Story where it's West Side Story meets the Warriors.
That would be pretty. That'd be a really great like indie sequel, prequel.
Mountain play, yay!
I can dig it.
All right, question 3. Nolan asked us, what movie or TV show would be improved by moving its setting to New York?
This is a really hard one too, but thinking about it, I kind of went with Hot Fuzz. I think The Office was really cool, how they took it from England and brought it to America. So I think they could do that with Hot Fuzz too, right? You could totally take it out of London and have it take place in New York City, and then he's in NYCPD. And he gets moved out to the country somewhere in upstate New York or something. So I think that would be a really cool adaptation.
Yeah, I like that idea a lot. If it's as good as The Office was, because I think The Office is by far the most successful transition from taking a British show and doing a remake of it that's set in the United States.
You obviously haven't seen the pilot for the IT Crowd. That is straight garbage.
Yeah, but if they did a good job and they didn't ruin it and they had people working on it who really loved that project, then I would be down for that, because Hot Fuzz could totally make sense in New York for sure. Awesome.
All right. Last question. Who's the best New Yorker from pop culture?
So you're gonna see I really like this show in a second, but I picked Peggy Olson from Mad Men. I think she really kind of represents the dream of what moving to New York is. Like, she grows up in Brooklyn, and she starts working in Manhattan, and she's able to move into Manhattan and have her own apartment there, and kind of live a more metropolitan life than Brooklyn was in the 1950s/60s. And and plus she's like a self-made woman who was really on the brink of women starting to go into the workplace. She didn't use her looks to get ahead. She really just used her smarts. So that's what I picked.
Awesome, yeah.
Nice.
Because, yeah, obviously if you were going to go into Mad Men, you wouldn't want to be like one of the receptionists. You would want to be like Peggy's storyline, where she's really like breaking down boundaries and doing interesting things in a male-dominated field. So, yeah, she's an inspirational character for sure.
I just want to drive the lawnmower.
No.
no, don't drive the wheel. Don't run over someone's photos.
All right, well, that's all the questions. Halo, do you want to plug where people can find your content?
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube and Twitch. I do play with me's 5 days a week. The only days I don't stream are on Mondays and Wednesdays. I'm usually on around 9 p.m. Halo_Smythe. And you can also find me on Twitter under the same handle, Halo_Smythe.
Great. Awesome. Well, thanks for stopping by and calling in. We really appreciate that.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for having me, guys. This is fun.
Of course, we hope to see you again soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Next is Billy.
Billy, buddy.
Billy Upgrade.
I don't know what TJ is talking about, but he says Egon Spengler, so he's caught my attention. Let's see.
Almost just invited the landlord.
Is that just a suggestion for a good New Yorker? Because I like it. Yeah, everyone give her a follow if you haven't already.
Yeah, I need to add her to the featured.
We've seen her quite a few times in the chat and stuff. So.
Oh yeah, she subs by either like every other time when I'm streaming on. Oh, I might have sent it to your other one. 1 second. Oh, I got him.
What's up, guys? What's up?
Hey, buddy.
How's everybody tonight or
Are
today?
you a Sith Lord now, or are you doing a bit?
Oh, Kimber, I've always been a Sith Lord, but no, I just got off work, so yeah, I'm wearing my work hat. I'd rather, you know what? Yeah, so. And my hair is not the best right now, so I figured, you know what, might as well go in with the Hogwarts hood and everything.
Nice.
I am liking your shirt.
Thanks, buddy. Thank you for upgrading your Patreon status. We appreciate you.
It's nothing.
It's nothing. Well, it's something to us, so thank you. Let's get right into these. Yusuf asked, what movie based in New York makes you want to move there?
Okay, this is a show that I think everybody should watch, and it's The Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. She makes New York seem like a super magical place to live in. I mean, it's also really hard because most things set in New York, they're either super gritty or they paint it as just like, you know, the big city where like something bad will inevitably happen to you. But no, if you're Kimmy Schmidt, it's just an awesome adventure. And it's also a really funny, really uplifting show.
Yeah, and they actually they touch on some of the stuff, like her piano outside of her house says bed bugs and everything. So they touch on that it's kind of shitty for her, but they make the best of it. Really her optimism is kind of the lens that you see everything through. So even though it's not the greatest situation, she doesn't have unrealistically nice place to live and stuff like that. But it's just her attitude that is the magic of the show, really.
Yeah, and a great best friend that is Titus.
You gotta love Titus.
Yeah, I love that dude.
Pino! You are.
Ashley at _Mrs. Davis asked, what movie or TV show gets the most wrong about the city or state of New York?
This is really hard. I was tempted to say the Netflix show, but it's the beginning of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And it's when Steve Martin and Kevin Bacon are fighting for a cab. That doesn't happen. Nobody really catches a cab. Everybody just walks around in New York. So I think that's just really unrealistic.
I've been in a cab in New York.
No, I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't cabbies in there, but nobody's going to fight you for a cab. I mean, there's a lot of them, so you'll be fine. Also,
the last question. Wait, the third to last. The next question is, what movie or TV show would be improved by moving its setting to New York?
Okay, this is one of the toughest questions I've ever thought of. I don't know why, but this is going to be a really, really bad answer, but I could not think of anything. Anything would make this better, and it's Sharknado. I want to see a Sharknado in New York, and just how awesome would that be? I mean, it'd be stupid, yeah, but it would be kind of awesome.
The producer of Sharknado just followed us on Twitter.
I noticed that.
I don't know why.
Kind of like the okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Must be doing something wrong or right.
Yeah.
All right, last question for the night. Who is your favorite New Yorker from pop culture?
Okay, this is also a hard one. But I'm going to stick Matt Murdock, man. That guy is born and raised New Yorker, Hell's Kitchen. I don't even think he's been outside of Hell's Kitchen. That's how dedicated to his city he is. He talks constantly about his city, a lot. And yeah, try and true New Yorker. And my other answer was an actor, but I didn't know. He was more of like what he's a certain kind of New York. Like he represents like Brooklyn, and that would be Tony Danza. But I went with Matt Murdock because, yeah, I love Daredevil.
Yeah, fair enough. He's a good one.
And a lot of shows don't really highlight, like, a lot of them will talk about the skyscrapers and stuff like that, but like Daredevil like shows you the cool ass like churches and like the old New York there. That's still like a big part of it. So that's cool. Yeah, Daredevil got a lot of love. I know Jack was praising Daredevil and its villain, it's Kingpin earlier. D'Onofrio is awesome. But all right, well, Billy, thank you so much for joining us, and again for becoming a patron. Do you have anything you'd like to plug, or where people can find you?
Oh yeah, you can find me on Twitter at BeatBusterBill, and I'm actually been on Stardust a lot. I'm close to 100 followers, and you can find fellow people in the chat, Janine and Raul and Eric, and now Nolan. They all joined Stardust, and it's awesome. Like, you could just be like a emotional reaction, like how you feel. You can go in depth in like 30 seconds, but it's great.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of making an account for me and Kimber because we watch a lot of different stuff, and or if we watch a movie together, it'd be fun to both jump on. Just make it the same account. But that's now that I know a bunch of you folks are on there, I should. I was reading Raul's Twitter before his profile, and he's like Stardust Superstar. So I'm like, well, I gotta get on there and follow Raul. So
yeah, he's not the only one. This guy and Janine are as well.
I'll find you and Nolan. So thanks again, Billy. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Good luck with the move, guys, and I will see you in the near future.
Yes,
you
sir.
will.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
I know Eric's really trying to get.
Yep, we're gonna get Eric in here, and then Tom Zambino if he wants to call in.
And then is that everyone?
I haven't heard from Yusuf. If Yusuf's not here, then that's it.
And I saw Jason Chi in the chat.
Oh yeah, if Jason wants to call in. Eric, we do need your email. Stardust is an app where apparently you just review anything you want.
We only know about it because they are all on it.
And New Rock Stars talks about it a lot. Sometimes they'll go, if people tag New Rock Stars, they'll read it on their show. I've seen them do that a few times. Okay, Tom, no problem.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, we appreciate you stopping by at least. I don't mind calling it a little early tonight because like I said, we are tearing down this wall right after this call, and I'm hungry as per usual at this time of night.
No nuggets tonight. We're gonna make some grilled cheeses. No, we're not doing nuggets.
Well, I'm hungry.
We're doing grilled cheeses.
Well, what if I'm too hungry for a grilled cheese?
I don't know how that makes sense.
Because where's the beef?
In either of those scenarios, where is the beef? I'm waiting.
Beef nugget.
A beef nugget? I don't. I'm trying to invite you. Right there we go. Okay.
Candace is here.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we will have Eric Monroe, if we can get him in before he has to leave, and then Candace. We love your face. Everyone is going nuts because Candace is here.
TJ, I suck at Fortnite too. We should set together sometime. We should play together and both do poorly.
You could have phrased it worse.
I could have. Oh.
Boo. We love you too, though.
Thanks for stopping by, John.
Why is it going through the phone?
I don't know, but since he can't
this working? I had to call you, buddy.
I hear you.
Mavis is biting me.
I can't see you.
Hold on. Do you see anything?
I don't see anything.
We see the little picture.
Oh yeah, we see that.
It's a nice picture though.
Wait a minute. Let me flip my camera. Now you see.
And you're on Tom's phone for some reason, not on the computer.
But we'll make it work because I know you got to run. So
yeah. Can you see me or no?
No, but we can hear you. I have you right up on the mic.
Okay. Can they all hear me in the chat? It's okay.
They should be able to. Okay. So.
Hi, Kimber.
Hey, buddy.
Question 1 is what movie based in New York makes you want to move there?
I'm gonna have to say Upstate Manhattan.
Yes.
I love that movie. I absolutely love it. I would love to hang out with the Muppets. I would pay to see Manhattan Melodies. I love that musical where Miss Piggy and Kermit get married. To me, it's a timeless movie, and I just love it. So yeah, Upstate Manhattan.
See, he knows what's up. This is why we're friends, Eric.
Absolutely.
All right. Ashley asks, what movie or TV show gets the most wrong about New York?
This is kind of crazy answer. It's way out of the box. But I'm going to use it. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen 1968's Planet of the Apes. But as we find out at the end, they are in New York. And New York, I know it said the future, but New York right now is not exactly like that. Yes, humans are still can act very stupid, but they're not like they are in that picture in 1968. So yeah, I would say the original Planet of the Apes, which is one of my favorite films.
Well, I think in that scenario, it's implied that we blew ourselves up, where I think it's more likely now that somebody else is going to blow us up. So
yes, exactly.
Question 3 by Nolan is what movie or TV show would be improved by moving the setting to New York?
This is sort of a cheat answer, but I'm going to use it anyway. I'm going to have to say Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, because only the last 10 minutes of the damn movie is he actually in New York. It's the worst Friday the 13th sequel, without question. I think it would be a much better film if most of the film was actually set in New York, so I'm going to use that as my answer.
2 things really quick. I do have to say that before we started this episode, I was like, I feel really guilty that I didn't pick the Muppets in Manhattan movie. And
I thought you were going to bring it up.
And Tom was like talking about using that Jason Manhattan movie as the answer for this question. Did you look into the fire?
Where I looked into the fire. I said, what's Kimber thinking? We translated it all. So, you can't see it. I'm wearing my Spanish shirt.
Aw.
I'm sorry. I was doing it for Cal. Put it on.
Hey, Randall. All right.
Hey, Randall, buddy.
Last question is, what character in pop culture is your favorite New Yorker?
Stannis Baratheon. Because Stannis is life. No, I'm just kidding. My real answer is Dr. Peter Venkman from Ghostbusters. I love him in the movies. I love him in the cartoon. He always made me laugh growing up. I still love him. He still will always be my favorite Ghostbuster. So yeah, Dr. Peter Venkman.
Awesome. For sure. Well, I'm glad that we got to have you in, even if it was just this way. And they can definitely hear you because they're responding to what you're talking about in the chat.
Oh, good. I'm glad. I just want to say, I have a quick question real quick. I know it's on when you're moving. Will there eventually be an OSP Westworld Season 2 show?
Yes.
Recap.
Absolutely.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure. Okay. Just to say, good luck with the move. I loved meeting both of you last year. Hopefully I will see you again at the wedding. Kimber, you have been in my thoughts 100%. Love you both. And of course, you can find me on Twitter and then Koch, not Coach or Cooch, 200.
Or Koch.
Or Crotch.
Talk to me. Even if you hate Stannis, we can talk about it and debate it. I love to debate. Kimber knows that. Billy in the chat knows that. Everybody knows that. So, yeah. Love you both.
Love you too,
Love
buddy.
you too,
Thanks for calling in.
Blew you kiss. You can't see it, but I blew you kiss.
Aw.
Both of you, not just Kimber.
I got it. All right, buddy.
Bye.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Candace is talking in the chat.
Yes, Westworld show for sure.
She's saying that her movie that makes her want to move to New York City, Oliver and Company. And you know why? Because she's street smart. Let's see here. So Randall's pooped. He's not going to be calling in.
I think that might
That's
be
it.
everybody. Yeah.
That's everybody. It's time to make grilled cheese. Pee-wee in New York and not a farm. I don't know what that means. There was 101 Dalmatians in Chicago.
I think 101 Dalmatians
London.
is in London. Yeah.
Just I got American actors in it, so it's very confusing.
I like you and Candace doing a duet through chat in video.
I just saw that Candace has me and her duet of Dr. Horrible Sing-Along pinned to her Smeel profile, and it made me melt inside.
He's already bragged about this, by the way.
Yes, I have.
Not the first time bragging about this.
She wants to move Buffy to New York.
Ooh.
It's already enough of a hellmouth. You don't need to add another one in there.
We forgive you, Halo.
But yeah, that's it. So we just want to thank everybody. You guys have no idea how much you have saved our sanity. We were bored to tears living in the woods. And then we found a thing called Screen Junkies. And then we met a bunch of you guys through there. And we eventually got to this. And it would not be this at all without you guys. We love you all. And even you new folks, we'll love you too.
And seeing you guys blend in with like Candace is from my life. Like we've been friends for almost 15 years now, and seeing my new internet friends blending with my real friends.
Not that you're not real friends, you know.
Or I mean my in real life friends that I met before we got involved with the internet. Especially, real life friends, because like Dell comes to visit. We all met up in Philly.
Now.
And hopefully we'll just get to meet more of you as time goes on, and especially at the wedding.
And then there's Jack.
But seeing you guys blend from different parts of my life really touches my heart, and I just appreciate every one of you so much.
For sure. So thank you so much.
OSP IRL. I like that.
It's true. We're going to do a live show soon once we get... Actually, that would be goals. But anyway, we love you all. We'll talk to you soon.
And we will see you in Texas.
Maybe some videos along the way. We'll see.
Y'all come back now. You hear?
Oh, actually, I wanted to do one thing before we leave. Kimber, will you take down the belt?
Because we're packing it. It's my belt.
That's it. Have a great day. Bye.